Round 6 commences. My name's Severio. Alongside with me is Got Moxie, and we are going to start this off between WBG and J Team as it's an initiation between both of them. Baige is in the backline trying to find some loot off of here as he has 55% ready to go. He's looking to try to lock in towards J Team's ice as it comes through. You're going to see A-Shao is getting focused out here. No weapon, a ballista already in use coming out from the sight line, and that's going to force WBG to not take any sort of reason for engagement. They're going to be looking to just loot out into Victim's Haven, but over by the Sun Cave, as I mentioned, 5-2-1 is up against Alliance here, and it's going to be some eliminations against OUG, who, if I'm not mistaken, are all eliminated but one into this fight. SS is still hanging around, gets spotted, and Lane is going to be looking towards us. The Wisp is already up, so he has no combo breaker unless he throws it and gets into cooldown, but that's not going to be enough time. And as Alliance picks up 2 eliminations into these first rounds, into this first minutes of this round, I should say.
Okay, very shortly, I'm sure we're going to see GG and KLA, or rather, yeah, going head to head, considering both of them dropped incredibly, rather Wolves, considering both of them dropped incredibly close to each other. XCG currently hunting KLA, Kakaishi already with that Tumult ultimate up, trying to find a point of isolation. They've seen CXZ away from the rest of the team. He's not really able to find the full isolation until they're able to spot out Cuckoo. There's the Tumult ultimate coming through, cutting them off and away from the rest of the team. We swap over to the bow to be able to keep applying the pressure as we 1 versus 2 force the engagement. Kaishi now with the combo breaker throws out the Wisp to be able to play into the potential peel that the Takeda tried to opt into. One keeps the Takeda looking, the other goes for the Dragon Slayer's conversion into Nezas on the back because you can't parry with a 360 cone. It's only what you see in front of you. XCG with the absolute sublime spacing that we expect to see coming out from such an experienced team. WBG and Wolves, there it is, going head to head. Fireflies looks like they've been picked up from both of these teams. Wolves, however, have the better end of the engagement given the fact that they're able to drop a Bane's Breath and all of the pulsar damage coming on through from ZK. Tessa F1 is going to knock back for A-Shao, and he is forced into configuring out whether or not he wants to go down to the Tessa or whether he wants to run forward into that Bane's Breath. Wolves yet again able to take down another team very quickly off of the rip. And it's heading over to Shipwreck. We've got JJH looking to try and loot up all of these areas as well as break all of these boxes to get as much money on the board as quickly as possible. BBE trying to take the engagement. Roy, he does have that ultimate. He's immediately going to kick off with it. Farrier already dropping that V3, so the second that the ultimate is gone, Roy, he's going to be able to drop into that mech and keep himself safe. We're going to be dropping any second. 3, 2, 1 into the F2. It's actually Ivan who goes into the mech. Roy, he playing off of the F2 to be able to find connections onto these other players of JJH and push them into the line of sight of the Farrier cannon shots. Tessa ultimate comes on out now, trying to put the chain onto the players from BBE so that we can get the enchantment, maybe get the damage onto the Yodo. 2 of them stack up on top of Roy Hee. Mech still in play, however, so the Yodo does not go down until just now. Godly swaps over to the pistol, will be able to confirm the kill onto Roy Hee. And this could be the turnaround that JJH needed. Godly with the Soulburn reset now has to try and live against BBE's Ivan. 1, 2, 3, we send those, and Godly did not actually parry. The Farrier drops the V3, hops into the mech to be able to force the reset. Godly sees the ultimate, manages to make space, disengages, buys his team back because both of these players, Serve, have decided to go to the Soul Altar. We all in. This is a 3 versus 3. One team walks away, one team goes out the lobby early. I say that, one team has a Wu Chen, so we just teleport out.
Anyway, to be continued. You know, the prologue chapter was that whole fight in the beginning, and they'll be making sure and releasing their volume. Oh, guess what? They're on hiatus. They're dipping out because they want to make sure they get to Ghost Town, at least as a formality of just resetting for their gear. But over by the Cosmic Pillars, we are going to see Alex Ice actually go crazy here with his dashes, but he gets caught into the sounds from the F3 shot. As we can see, CJS is in the background just trying to go for some resets. About 3-3-0s looking to try to engage onto Ice's position. Now, as Lee and G are both down, Ice, by his own lonesome, is just going to get caught out and pelted by these hits and with the range shots and as well as getting some dashes back to back, it's just not going to be enough timing considering how much duration his ultimate's already been used. He's got one more dash, but he didn't use it and he got himself caught through. But WBG, they're rocking the party and they are wanting to go and have a tassel with GG if they find it, because considering that WBG lost his first set of lives right now, finding scraps off of these bodies and with common armor, they're going up against a pretty consolidated squad of just fully kitted out kits of purple weapons and whatnot. So if they take this fight, it's up to their own intuition about how well they want to really take that fight, right? Because purple weapons, you don't know how much damage you're taking until you just take RMB to the face, and then there's nothing you can do about it. And that's common armor, so you know that armor is going to be deleted by the point of even a singular blue focus strike coming from that point. But U is looking up against 521's Cloud, and as SS is on toe to try to chase this one out. I don't see where the king is, so we're gonna have to see whether or not it's gonna be a position just for him to be out there. But we do see back into the Island Crater region where we're gonna see 330 finding out that they have pursuers on their back, and as Baige has a no ultimate cast ready now after using his first one early on, it's just up to amount of rage to be earned back. The V3 beacon to confirm that knockback allows for Yodohime to look for slashes against any targets, but with the V3 active from the Viper, no teleports are possible and the enchant is guaranteed as LXM is locked in here. A parry though coming out from CJS and a Wu-Chan port to get WBG out. Now whether or not GG wants to take this chase here, they will look for it, but they look to reset as WBG were able to find the flank around and just reposition for a nice, clean escape from that fight that could have been very dastardly to begin with.
I mean, the crucial thing is, I don't think there's... Oh, actually, Wolves are in the area. Wolves just took a fight against BBE and killed 2 players from BBE's side. So they do have to be careful they don't run directly into Wolves, given the fact that Wolves are on 5 kills and do probably have ultimates equipped to be able to take a fight afterwards. OUG's U trying to come in with the fan, only has 1 Fear and Shove left. Does get hit by the Tessa V1 coming on out from Alliance, but we're able to kill the Tessa, and that's immediately going to cancel the ultimate without us having to interact into the urn, forcing the Witch and TP. Alliance get their revive and turn back in onto OUG. They do not have a second cast of the Tessa ultimate, however, so they're not going to fully engage. It was just range poke pressure, especially since 521 just showed up on the scene, and we do not want to try and stick that fight. Now we get to see GG, WBG, and Wolves. I knew that Wolves would be trying to find a third party onto one of these teams eventually, and it looks like the time is now. They're able to find the kill onto Asia, Sleepwalker, and Baige having to go into the corruption damage to try and cut noise and hope that Wolves continue heading over towards the east side. They did not see, because of the buildings, they didn't get to see what WBG were rotating into. I don't know if WBG are able to backtrack and pick up that downed player. It is going to be risky, but GG have since moved on as well, so they might be able to. The problem for WBG is, yeah, they are going to stick it. Asia was brought back in. They have to be incredibly careful because, like, Wolves are still in the area and WBG are right next to a realm of gang, which means that a lot of these teams are probably going to start gravitating towards that area. Specifically, GG and Wolves, who've just spotted WBG. Asia was so low. I think they just have to go into the portal. They went into the portal. Do they manage to get all of their players in? 1 person, 2 person, 3 person in. Unfortunately, Wolves decided to just full send it. And both of these teams, Wolves, like I said, in 2023, if they decided to see a target, they would chase it until either they died or the team died. And they full send into the portal we go. And we get the continuation. No DLC. It is right here, right now. As it's gonna be Gem trying to come in with that Viper V3, find so much damage with the follow-up on the F3. Asia was absolutely evaporated in a matter of moments with the follow-up on that purple pole sword, and Wolves win it in the blink of an eye.
Zen was quick with those R&B with the pole swords, and of course we're going to the second roaming between OUG and KLA. Coming off this end, KLA having a bit of trouble trying to catch up to you as he went to the sky with no armor, able to find a Fear and Blast coming off this end, but an R&B coming up from the King, kind of try to protect his teammate. And as you can see, you looking for horizontals, a very, very wide blue focus attack, mind you, but it is coming to his advantage here as you finds the midair F1 to keep himself propelled and looking for midair pistol shots. I love this scene, a little bit of poke damage you can find in any opportune moment, and of course there's going to be a chance here for the final Takeda Fury Blast coming out here from QGG. Now he's going to have himself into F1, so if a blue focus goes his way, the King has to be very careful into that back line. But with that, there it is. I jinxed it coming off of his end. I'm sorry, the King, but you're going to see a kill off of Cuckoo, but a parry into QGG gives a full priority list as the King gets parried again. This time, though, gets caught into a wind blast and is killed. A 2v2, 1v2. Yu is going to be the only person left for OUG to come out here on top, and he's waiting for his F1 cooldown to be here in around 1 second. Finds himself to chase out CXZ, finds a clink off QGG. Another one. Counted down. A blistering edge is going to burn out Yu for a little bit more time, but an uppercut was all that was needed for KLA. They find victory. They find gold weapon for their main primary source of damage dealing. And of course, that might be coming down towards, I would say QGG, but it could be CXC's benefit of having this dual halberds for them. So when it comes down to it, Vermilion Birds might pick up regardless. And they're going to be looking to try to go into the Realm Yang or outside the Realm Yang for some quick tassels against anyone nearby, such as with Bauda. Team Bauda actually in soul form right now, as we can see. But XGG are the only other enemy team, Moxie, that are alive and in the proximity after winning their Realm Yang just right now.
Yeah, but having lost that Realm of Yang, like you said, in spirit form, looking to scout out the winning composition when they went outside of that Yang to see whether or not it's Sand Siphon, whether or not it's Cannonball. Sand Siphon, not the best team to have to try and force a fight when you have Yang depletion, given the fact that Zip just makes the fight last so long. And essentially, if you don't manage to win the fight in the first, like, 30 seconds, you're just going to get third-partied, and mutual destruction is theirs. XEG and KLA duke it out. Smolch ultimates infested for both of these teams. We're going to be able to get into the Karimi V2. Now comes on through NiHQ with a huge parry off of that fan, looking to try and lock down some of these players. Stormstride also in play as Bauda, just playing surveillance at the moment. They're going to all in on whatever team is left once these ultimates are all removed. Who's it going to be that they end up going up against? NiHQ just throwing out the fan-charged RMBs. We get to see Merciless Havoc coming on through as well. Here's Bauda deciding to make their move. Did they grab a Soul Blimp? No! Yuran wasn't able to nab it in time. Blistering Edge, however, will take down Cuckoo, as well as the Yoto F2, making sure to create all of that spacing. And as a result, Bauda continue to apply this pressure. They have to make sure that they catch these players. Lacking one of those Soul Blooms mean that they have to get another kill. XG's NiHQ with the Phantom Step being a little bit harder for them to be able to pin down, but they should be able to manage it. Yeah, there we go. Good news for them as well. Like, the fight's not lasting too long, and XCG and KLA aren't getting the opportunity to run into some of these other teams. Blistering Edge now hitting on to Kakaishi from CXC. Bauda, having picked up the Soul Blooms of the players that they'd already downed, now coming to third party this engagement too. Jing with the Phoenix Blast getting to connect onto all of the players stacked on top of each other, doing so much damage, but this was the problem. They all in. They had to chase down KLA because they lacked one of the Soul Blooms when they first went for that third party, and as a result, they've now invited themselves to a fight against Wolves when they don't have the ultimates to be able to live through it. Jing has absolutely nothing he can do. Gets hit by the full silence, won't be able to utilize the combo breaker, and just has to sit there, stand, take all of the damage. As moving over to Artisans, another team with that Yang depletion, just having their hand forced, having to take these fights. OUG's Yu with the charged RMB on that fan. Finds a parry onto Revenge to convert it into another RMB connection. We do see the Wuchen teleport, and this is really unfortunate for OUG. That Tessa V1 means that the Takeda is not going to be able to try and chase as the Lions look to kite into Celestra and lose OUG's line of sight amongst the buildings. Dragon's Roar interception comes through from Revenge, connecting onto OUG's Yu. The Takeda just sitting inside the focus and trying to buy zoning as much as he can, but OUG might be buying themselves time to recover. What they're not doing is confirming the kills onto Alliance serve. They're down to sub a minute, and if they don't get this kill onto Alliance soon, they're going to be out of the lobby because of Yang depletion instead.
Yeah, they're gonna have to climb that stairwell really fast right now, because considering how this block apartment is built, they have only a few steps left. 44 seconds left on the clock for you, or for OUG as a general rule of thumb, for them to find a Soul Bloom for both you and the King. SS has his Soul Bloom covered, but this is gonna have to be a make or break situation for releasing these blue focuses. Coming out here for a hold check and is allowing for Bo to be the lowest health target for Alliance right now, and that Dragon War is not making things any easier for them, as Revenge is being able to pelt them out here. But you finds a lockdown for Bo, might be catching himself into that dump element to the RMB, and there's gonna be a kill confirmation with the downward spiteful moment, because now that 521 is here to grief everything, pushing him away from that Soul Bloom. is or had him to pick up that Soulbloom here, is now going to have to invest his ultimate as they are chasing you down. 521 are not going to let him go through here. SS is already pushed away from his teammate, and as 521 is going to consolidate onto you, it's an unfortunate circumstance here as you has himself at 600 HP, has no more Fear and Blast, has only 2 grapples left to his name, and just
I think SS has been found.
His HP is going through.
I mean, it could be Corruption 6 damage. Actually, it's pretty methodical. As we can see, that yeah, it is just the sacrifice play. OUG's you without that ultimate just tries to stall 521 from being able to collapse onto him. But as long as he possibly can, draw them away from his Tumult, who has that combo breaker, as a body does drop, but thankfully for them, it is not that Tumult, it is a BBE's Roy He. As we get a Realm of Yang fight, XCG going head-to-head with KLA. KLA already pretty stacked in terms of loot scaling. Night HQ tries to come in with that fan yet again, that moves on in with the Phantom Step, looking to try and disrupt with the gusts into scale rushes, with how quickly it charges up, uppercut into KXC, who has that Kurumi tab, but will be able to live through all of the pressure. Unfortunately, in the meantime, by going for that target, they've actually lost Zhao Nan and Kakaishi very quickly afterwards. The Kurumi keeping everyone healed up right about now. And KLA absolutely walk that Realm of Yang. Cuckoo, we saw 30,000 healing last round. Honestly, probably going to be hitting the similar sort of numbers, as that is going to be a legendary spear picked up for KLA as well. They can either change it into a staff if they have jabbing, or they can play it with the Heartstopper if they roll for that soldier. And with the amount of money that they have, I have no doubt that we're going to be seeing them make a little bit of a shopping trip stop off before they start using this Mystic Might to try and hunt down some of the teams around.
Yeah, best case scenario, Heartstopper. Best case scenario, jabbing. Worst case scenario, martial artist, Shaolin staff for the 1-2-3 Jade. We will talk about that because now we're gonna have to take a look and see what OUG's got in stand, because you has just been eliminated. SS is still in the round, just hanging around somewhere around the map. But we do see that KLA finds themselves, if I'm not mistaken, their 9th elimination into this lobby. Now Wolves is at 11 so far, but BBE, we know, I see them on the kill leaderboard. They only have 1 teammate. Their Wei-Shan is the only person here. Wolves, they're scouting over here by Sunbelt Dwelling. They're just looking over the ridge, while Alliance misses out on Bauda, as they are sneaky for elimination.
So you hide in a bush and we hide in a bush, and together we will be bush buddies.
Bush buddies. High five. You know,
it's always Alliance every single time in trios. It is always Alliance hiding inside a purple bush. There's like 2 universal constants in NBPL. If in solos there's a player on Ballista, it will be GG Sha. If in trios there's a team in purple bush, it'll be Alliance.
When the good thing goes bad, you know, that's the worst case scenario once you get a Mystic Might. Oh
no,
that's
not a good thing. That's 100% the worst possible outcome for OUG. SS has been spotted. And remember, you already went down earlier. This is the last player for OUG. And KLA with the Mystic Might are going to be able to keep on top of this Tumult and track down exactly where he wants to. So this is just delaying the inevitable, or maybe he can grief. Maybe he can bait KLA and Wolves into taking a fight against each other with the Tumult caught in the middle on a silver platter for both to be able to access. As it is going to be... Well, QGG did indeed lose his weapon. He must have gotten parried somehow. I don't know who was able to pull that one off. Wolves actually see KLA's full squad and utilize the Wuchen teleport, and KLA suddenly forget about that Tumult that they were tracking. There's a full 3 kills that they could potentially go for instead, and 3 is much better than 1 in terms of overall score.
That's crazy. He's the instigator. Yeah, it's crazy. How's that much of a sleuth to get past 2 teams and within one engagement in the ravine? You know, it's just like he's built different right now, because right now XEG, they're in Realm of Yang depletion still for at least 2 of their teammates, and this is where things get a little bit interesting, because one thing that's going to lead down towards this is KLA going to invest their ultimates for this fight in the shadows closing in. They're going to have to do this right now for this multiple, as QGG has himself to catch a nice hit, but the Wisp is going to deny any sort of that pressure coming out. The Mystic Might working out here wonders for that mitigation, but it's up to them right now to find those eliminations off of XCG. Night HQ burned out his V2 from his teammates zipping Sedate Soul, and there it is. Nice solo pickup for QGG. Has to regroup with this team. He has 2 more Fear and Blast to make this work out here. There's Kakaxi, has his F1 to be burned here. QGG looking at Yanan as a ripe tool here for a blue focus spam. regroups right towards Cuckoo and locking Nakakashi here. The F1's available for QGG, but just keeps those crouch LMBs handy because, my friend, you're going to catch your team's both elimination. KLA are working this round to their moniker because now that they're at the top of the leaderboard, it's only up to them to just keep that standstill position. But you know, Wolves, listen, I know they like Valiant Challenger more than the next guy, but they've been using Valiant Challengers non-stop, just keeping it going, just kind of trying to keep vision on nearby, but also being a taunting teammates or enemies to want to go towards where they are. But are they really wanting to take that risk? That's where it really comes down to the benefit.
I mean, it's smart though, because they're on a composition that thrives off of other teams fighting. It's not just one team that sees the Valiant Challenger, it's everyone. So if more than one team rises to the challenge, rises to the bait, then Wolves are going to be able to play a little bit quieter and play off of the inevitable clash that occurs between the other two teams that have been baited into taking a fight. As they're doing the exact same thing. Like, they're just using Morris Blessing to try and bait players so that they can third party off the fights or try and just catch on to some of these players if they have to try and use Morris Blessings to pick up rebuff charms and run away to find soul altars with. As GG in the area, GG are one of those teams that do like to play for Morris Blessings, especially so they can get things like the Flamers. Drops the Yoto F, trying to use that one to cover all of the range poke coming on through just... Yes, they do manage to get it open. There's CJS immediately making away with the legendary armor, and crucially, legendary flamer. It's not Blood Ripper. Happy days for GG. That's got to be like a slap in the face when you put so much into being able to open up a Morris Blessing, risk so much, because in Trios it has the charge up where you have to be able to stick that loadout, and then you open it up, and then it's Blood Rip, and you're like, what am I gonna do with this? As poor Euron is asking himself what he's gonna do with his position currently, because he is lone wolfing it right now. GG don't notice him. Thankfully, we don't have Mystic Might in play. You don't get buffs in these late Morris Blessings. So as a result, he has gone unnoticed until now. He has been pushed out of his spot. Now decides to take a different one. As GG instead see the attention of JJH. Also, Surfing comes out from Godly to be able to reposition and try to find a good area that they can hold on to. As GG, like I said, this is a team that are incredibly good at translating ranged poke into poaching kills entirely. Keep an eye on the kill feed. They're going to be coming in with musket and bow connections and kill lockdowns in a matter of moments. As KLA start to really run the lobby. That Karumi tower is doing so much to keep that Takeda alive, but Wolves definitely wanting to continue the momentum that they've been picking it through so far. They've already elevated themselves past the 100 mark threshold. So that in itself is a huge achievement for them to feel very pleased about.
Yeah, huge feat for Wolves. You know, it's crazy too, because Zem to the builds, because I was looking at the Jades, I was making sure and keeping track of it. Wolves actually has them on a Phoenix Blast on standby. He has a Gold Hong Sword as his primary because it's gold rarity, and it just increases damage output as well. Back to that Morris Blessing with GG. LXM actually finding a soul release as an F3, F3 Yodokime with a Flamebringer. So if anything comes out to defensive positions and getting the reset off the skill would be an immense point for GG to get that through. But Godly goes into Overcomer mode, trying to release it off at the top of the Ballista Tower as Maran is at half HP. He's trying to himself get some resets inside of the tower, but the zone is going to close in really quickly. So for JJH right now, they can take any sort of opportunity to reset here, but anyone can find that, find that Wu-Chen outside the zone. But Yin taking some hits off of this, going to go straight towards the enemy opponents while regrouping with his team, because Campy needs a beacon right now and he needs a hero, and there's going to be the formation for this Moonbane. Oh man, coming off to the zone, we're gonna see Yin try to look for the RB against the Viper and just trying to keep them in control for CC for blue focuses. But Godly drops himself right into the fray, catches himself an ultimate cast to be ready, gets himself an ultimate cast and a Wu-Chen port close. Off of that end by the Moonbane, and QGG gets a dreadful whale kill off of 521 in and has his Soul Bloom here on standby. I'm thinking about preemptive ulting here for this. But possibly, I don't know. He's thinking about it. He's looking at the loot and seeing what's available for him and his team. It's going to be a great value. But we're going to see Bo here in a 1v2 against OUG. As it comes out here, a reset for you to come back into the game, as SS has stayed alive long enough to get one of his teammates at least back into this fray, and that's going to give themselves a nice push towards placement. When SS was by himself, they had 6 eliminations. Once he got you back up, now they're up to 8. So this is really close position for both of these offensive base type characters, and of course you is now fully built out here for that purple armor cannon. He loves to have a cannon on standby as a Takeda as he's launching it towards Wolves, and you can see a tuna proc coming out here from Zem. Just keep a little bit more healing when in case those burns start to come through, but also for that armor regen of 15 armor per tick. And Wolves makes a rotation down toward the bodies of the 5-2-1 peeps. So it's really up to them and how well they want to take the time to loot while there are fights happening out here. Because QGG looking to try to go towards the Morris Blessing, finds a golden tagger that's just laying around in there for whatever reason that was been opened up. And you can actually see CXZ still has ultimate. So for the availability for KLA to find a good position to just rebound on, it's going to be up to them. But SS finds the 9th elimination. Goodness gracious. 10th elimination for OUG. They are racking up kills with only 2 teammates. And they are making it worthwhile for their effort for just the amount of pressure that they're going through, Moxie.
Yeah, keep an eye on Wolves because they've seen that OUG are licking their wounds and will start to make their move. Cannon pressure comes out from ZK. Unfortunately, OUG just have to take the full brunt of it. GG also setting up to be able to pinch onto this Team Takeda ultimate. Now that's the emergency card. OUG trying to push Wolves desperately back. They know if Wolves all in, they're not going to be able to safely move into a different space without first having to push GG out of theirs. You gets to grapple over their head and they puts themselves on top of the cliff to be able to conserve that Takeda ultimate for as long as possible. There's the legendary dagger. There's the dreadful whale getting into the golden focus state. And QGG is going to be able to lock up another one for KLA, putting them onto 14. Tumult ultimate comes on through from OUG to be able to reconsolidate all of their health as KLA starts to go hunting, looking to try and find these players that are a little bit too close to the edges of the zone and use these Fury shoves to knock them a little bit further in. GG outside of that Farrier V3 are going to be the ones that everyone turns on to next. Surely they try and put the pressure onto Wolves, but as a result they end up going directly into that Tessa V1, followed up by the Viper ultimate as well. And LXM lasts not but a second before he is instantly ejected from the lobby. Wolves ZK putting themselves up to 13, now 14 kills. Hirumi Tava comes on through from QGG so that the Takeda can live for all of the pressure. Cuckoo getting that legendary armor since everyone starts to turn on to this. Hirumi Tava is going to snap at the moment that QGG comes in with the drop-down dreadful whale. 90% damage reduction. Takeda ultimate in full play. Back-to-back we go. We get hit by the Tessa V1. Wolves immediately utilizing the space to go in with the Wuchen portal and get their way immediately away from KLA. Aurora Burst gets dropped in. Karumi Teva back into motion. Hits onto that Takeda, and as a result, back in does QGG. Come for that forward position. Gets the pill onto Wolves ZK. Now coming in with the fan with how fast the charge R&B is able to follow up onto these low health targets that everyone is starting to turn into when they see the vulnerable players. Merciless Havoc comes out from JJH's Godly, zoning KLA further away until JJH are ready to take the fight. OUG's SS trying to play as slow as he possibly can. You building the Takeda ultimate back up, hops over the Merciless Havoc, continues applying pressure, trying to force the teams around him to take the fights and ignore the Takeda. This is what we saw in the past when it was just Wolves, BBE, and OUG left in the lobby. SS goes incredibly low, goes even lower. Whole Sword connects onto him mid-scale rush, and as a result, SS is knocked into the corruption, takes damage, and out of the lobby. Now it's just his Takeda, just OUG's you, trying to play for survival as long as he can. JJH's Godly with that Merciless Havoc that was previously used to zone KLA, connecting onto QGG, as OUG's you is gifted a tree to be able to play grapples off of. Wolves also trying to play into the air as much as they possibly can. Tessa V1 connect. We do hear the enchantment go off. The immediate follow-up is there. QGG with the Dreadful Whale will be able to take down a Godly. And now it's just 6 players left in the lobby. KLA, the only team, however, with all 3 players left alive. EG trying to play for his life as long as he possibly can with the Wuchen F to keep himself in the air. Viper ultimate comes on through from Gem. 40% damage reduction means that QGG is still going to be able to keep frying with that fan. Pure on Shelves tries to find the knockback onto that Viper to follow up into the charged R&B as everyone from KLA pushes OUG's you out of the corruption, or out of the safety into the corruption take damage. Gem knows the game is up. He's not going to be able to find a kill. He decides to remove the option of one from KLA instead, but it's not enough, surely. KLA walks away with another MVP.